Chairperson Biden,
Present.
Commissioner Phelps,
Present.
Commissioner Carpenter,
Present.
Attorney General,
Present.
Lieutenant Holly.
Present.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the minutes of the January
So
meeting.
moved.
We had a chance to-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. And we have a one-day license for Lynn Auditorium for a concert on Thursday, April 19th, 2012.
Make a motion we approve one-day license. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wait for the waiting fee. No? They're coming in, they're gonna, okay. One more time.
Motion waive fee. I agree.
All in favor? Okay. Okay, then we have some common victular. La Petite Cafe. Wallace Baxter. Anyone here from?
23 Monroe Street.
Wait. How about La Buddha Restaurant, 21 Neptune Boulevard, Francisco Tolentino? Moving right along. Anyone here from the Pizza Factory, Stephen Sherman?
Right here.
So what?
He's changing the name.
Okay. How you doing?
How are you? Just tell us a little bit about what type of establishment you're going to operate, your hours, and just a general overview.
Sure, it's just gonna be a general pizzeria. Hours will be 11 a.m. to like 9 or 10 p.m. Pizza, subs, wraps, appetizers, couple pasta dishes. Pretty standard.
All right. Which property are you going into? 80 Central?
I think it's the Waterford Farm Properties, right across from the Hess there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that with Billy's?
Yeah.
Oh,
Billy.
okay.
That's Billy,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, you're going into those?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Make a motion we approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you very much.
Stephen, come out in, Thursday? License.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, and then we have another one, Primo Pizza Roast Beef. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? How you doing? You're taking over your Primo League? And you're gonna keep the name?
Yeah, we're gonna keep it the same.
Everything the same? The hours, everything the same? I know. Good.
Motion to approve.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. All in favor, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Thursday.
We have one more, Teresa Parada. For El Fogacito, number 2.
408 Summer Street.
Is that Rapids?
Yeah.
408 something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right along, we have transfer of license to E-Pub, formerly JD Sports Bar.
I'm Attorney Vitale, and I'm Mr. Dill. This is Captain Chamber. Tom, as you know, has more than one license, I said, right? This is a transfer of one of those to Kevin, with whom he's had a business relationship over the years. Both Kevin and Tom have had licenses in other cities. Kevin has worked for Tom in the Square Airport at the Lazy Go. So now, through Tom's assistance, Kevin's going to take over and own and operate place on Blue Street. They both experienced in the business, and Kevin certainly has got enough experience and training to operate a place on his own. This is an opportunity that really got afforded to him with Tom's help.
Yeah, Kevin's been in the business a long time, does a great job, knows the business, understands the responsibilities, does very well at it.
Well, just want you to know, I had my first legal drink in there when I was working. A long time ago.
I was gonna say, that was a long time
Long
ago.
time.
I called over to, it was Beverly, correct? Did you?
Yeah.
I called over and inquired with their licensing board for any prior discipline, and they said, no, I'm very responsible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Runs a good ship.
It's a welcome addition to the city.
Look the package over, the package looked good. We'll find that. Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck,
Change
cheers.
the manager, thank you very much.
Huh?
You change,
Motion to, yes, it is.
yeah, change the manager.
Motion is up to change of manager.
Second. All in favor?
Motion to approve the subject license.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a new license, Super King Walk, formerly the Dragon Inn Chinese Restaurant, 144 Market Street.
Evening, everyone. She is the proposed manager, he's the manager now. Manager, proposed license. No location, 144 Market Street, it's the Saddle Business District. That area is restaurant approximately 2,900 square feet. Capacity is 5, but they have 8 licenses for package. Just one dining room, no lounge bar. Asian cuisines, we'll continue to use that way. They purchased in November of 2011. Proposed hours of operation on Monday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. And Sunday is 12 noon to 12 a.m. Ms. White is a U.S. citizen. She has had her TIPS training. She works there full-time, and since she's been the manager there since it opened in November of 2011, prior to that, she was a waitress or a server in a Chinese restaurant in New Jersey. But she does have experience serving alcohol. She understands the allegations involved. We talked to her about anybody touching the restaurant shouldn't have to have training, alcohol training at the restaurant. She understands the implications of falling down the job. Really out there, so we're talk about that at length. Yeah, there is some questions.
This is a brand new license in this location.
That's correct.
And it's just wine.
Beer and wine.
It's already gone before the city council.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, no, no. You said 2 a.m.?
Correct, Friday and Saturday.
Not to serve beer and wine.
That's what time they're open till. We take whatever hours the commission would recommend. That's 1 o'clock, or it's 12:30, whatever your usual was.
1 o'clock is
1 o'clock would be enough.
serve food, but then you get into a whole different.
Yeah, it's more like that, you understand.
It hasn't become an issue. I think most places, like the Chinese restaurants, have closed at 1 to avoid that problem of overlapping.
Yes.
Yeah, certainly no problem with that, that's what they across the board. That's what they had before, but they're perfectly happy with what I thought was.
I'd be more comfortable with the
Much more
wine.
comfortable.
Trying to figure out what you do with all of the.
Absolutely. Right. So you would be willing to change your hours to 1 a.m.?
Absolutely.
Just, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Just a question regarding financing. Could you just explain how the financing is going to work?
Well, they acquired it, they acquired the restaurant, there's really no financing, they already own and operate the restaurant, and this being a new license, they're just purchasing. So that would be more the acquisition process of the restaurant than the license.
Your cost under the financing?
No, not.
So they've just been running the restaurant without beer and wine right now?
That's correct. Open to
That was the one question, is $5,000.
Agents with the help, license.
Do you understand if you get this beer and wine license that you would have to close at 1 AM?
1 o'clock.
Last call, 12:30.
So just, weekdays still 12 o'clock, so Friday and Saturday close at 1 o'clock.
Correct.
Last call, 12:30.
That would be my strong suggestion, I'm gonna make that formal motion.
Okay, any other questions?
I know they've owned the establishment for quite some time.
Right.
Did you get a copy of the rules?
Yes.
Okay, you did.
And to my knowledge, you haven't had any problems there with operating the business that you have there now. It's gonna be a bit of a transition for you, beer and wine. Opens up a whole new world to you of people coming in and drinking. You have to be very careful about it. And you did mention that everyone was gonna be tipstering?
Everybody's going to serve, yes.
They've already told you that?
No, they're actually haven't hired people yet. So a lot of this would take up until now. It's taken a while. Sit that restaurant, or sit that restaurant there.
She is? Did she say she is tipsy?
She is.
When in doubt, no, sir.
Right. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept with the stipulation that 1 AM will be
Closed.
Second motion?
Aye.
Aye. Good luck, David.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yes, and thanks a lot.
Johnny on the spot.
For once.
Okay, now we're gonna have some conferences. Failure in alcohol compliance survey. I need a representative from New Hall's Package Store, Brookside Liquors, T-Stop, Convenience Station, Jenny's Convenience Store, Enjoy Liquors, you can all come forward. Heinz Liquor, Mike's Liquors, Jenny's Discount Liquors, Eastern Okay, please let me know if you're present. New Hall's Package Store,
Present.
Brookside Liquors,
Present.
T-Stop, Convenience Station, Jenny's Convenience Store, Enjoy Liquors, Heinz Liquor, Mike's Liquors,
Present.
Jimmy's Discount Liquors, Eastern Market. Yes, everyone's here. Everyone is here. Unfortunately, let's pull out one sheet. Okay, as you all are aware, the Lynn Police Department, in conjunction with Girls Inc. of Lynn, conducted an on-site, I won't term it a sting, because it wasn't a sting, but a compliance check. And unfortunately, you're all here because you did serve or didn't check IDs. Okay, and that's totally irresponsible, and it cannot and will not be tolerated. And we're not in a position at this time to levy any type of penalty, but I do want to make it perfectly clear that if you are out of compliance, you will be dealt the harshest penalty that we can give, because there is absolutely no excuse for serving minors or acting in an irresponsible manner by not thoroughly checking IDs. It's totally inexcusable and will not be tolerated.
I just want to say I was surprised this time around at the percentage that came up as a problem. I think the last few times this was done, the percentage was pretty low.
I will say that the licenses that the volunteers used were very close, but they were all expired. And you were all given a copy of this. We delivered this to all of your establishments in November, in late November. I think has typical, you're all doing a good job of asking for IDs, but we're doing a horrible job of checking them. So I guess this is just a wake-up call. There was a 55% failure rate, so we'll be doing it again.
I would just follow up with that by saying, go back, gather your staffs together, have a conversation with them. Even the people that you think do the job perfectly every day. I think you have to go back, talk to them, reinforce the whole program with them, make sure they clearly understand everything. Even the people you think are most capable need to be reminded now and then about what can happen. And if you do that, I think you'll be successful in not having it happen again. But as Lieutenant Holy said, I'm sure they'll be back. I think there was an ad run in the newspaper today that they'll be coming again soon. So please be on your toes with that and be extremely careful. This is a good educational experience, I think, but it's time to have a talk with everyone on your staffs. Please make sure they clearly understand their responsibilities.
Another comment is next time it could be a real 15-year-old kid trying to buy. And that scares me. And that's why, like the chairman spoke of the harshness of what we do. You're all good holders of a license. I have no doubt that you'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're in the license. Okay. No. We're all here. All right. Okay, go on. I have a few of these. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You did all right?
Right here.
We don't have your signature. Do we have a signature?
Yeah, I got it.
You look great. Thank you.
Why don't you come back in? Why don't you come in sometime tomorrow and get that? Okay.
All Okay, now we have, anyone here from Earl Sandwich, 532 Western Avenue?
I did go by yesterday, I think, they're closed down. Too bad.
Did they?
I don't know if someone's sick or what's going on.
Your phone's not answering.
That was Lena's. They've been out for at least a week. Yeah. Lena's on the street, so.
That's all right. Go back.
Yeah. Okay, okay. All right, okay, we are going to hold, no. Is anyone here from 54 State Street? From Nuestro Cafe? Got it. What? I saw that happened over the parking lot across the street. Okay, again, another close call, problems happening after people are leaving your establishment across the street. No one came in and spoke with you? Lieutenant Holder, do you have anything to add to this?
No, this, none of this particular incident, there is, I think we forwarded to the board another incident about a fight in the parking lot with a 19-year-old. That follows the incident last month where there was an alleged sexual assault of the 18-year-old female. So we did conduct an on-premise inspection the other night, and everybody was found to be in compliance. So we are on it. You really have to check the IDs. You know, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, you know.
I just have a real concern. We seem to be back into this, this cycle again where every month we have a report of whether it be a fight across the street, a fight in front of the place, something happening inside. We went through this a few years back, and all of a sudden, I don't know, is your clientele changing, or?
No, unfortunately, a lot of times you really have no control over what people outside of the venue can do. So,
Excuse me,
you know,
can I add something to it? We are implementing a couple of things, and I'm Jeffrey, I'm recently, I don't know if the officer saw, we have two-way radios with security. We drastically have employed new securities. Also, there's a lot of protocol. Anything, they need to call 911, things of that nature. Any incidents outside, they have to actually put us aware through two-way radios, surveillance cameras, things of that nature. So we are trying to put more into the establishment. We also talked to Officer Newton, which is car 9 or car 15, which is in this area, in the area. He's going to be helping us out a little bit as well. So we're trying to do everything as much as possible.
You hired new security,
Yes.
and you know they have to register,
Yes, we know.
and then also register the surveillance equipment also.
Exactly. Well, the
Okay.
surveillance camera should be registered already.
Okay.
Can I just ask, what is your role?
I'm pretty much just, I help them out on a day-to-day basis with, keeping everything intact and everything.
And this gentleman's the owner.
Yes.
How many hours a week are you on the premises, and what hours do you work?
Jeffrey Chiara.
Oh.
He's there almost every day,
Almost
during the day
every-
and
yeah.
night.
We don't open every day, but I'll be there every day.
Until what time?
All depends. So I be there for 5 hours, 6 hours, all depends what I have to do there.
Who's there at closing?
I
Who's
just-
responsible for closing?
Yeah, we're both there. While operation hours, we're both there,
Yeah.
closing and opening.
What is it, you say your name?
Your last name?
Yeah, QUIJADA. And I'm sorry I interrupted that way,
No, it's
but I
okay.
know, I just
You're
wanted
the
to let
owner.
you know.
Yourself?
And what's
You're the interpreter?
I'm temporary security,
Yes,
I work with him.
Okay.
What's your name?
Letting out.
And you just help out?
Yeah, I pretty much,
You get paid?
Yes.
You're an employee?
Yes, I'm employed, I'm on the books.
And Pedro still?
No,
What's the kid?
check it out.
Check.
It's just, it's all of a sudden becoming craziness down there again, and I just get very uncomfortable with that whole situation.
Me too, you know.
Do you let under 21 in if they're not drinking?
It's not.
You don't let under
Don't,
21s in?
don't,
Okay.
right.
Okay, please make sure you're not doing.
Yep.
And truly, if they're hanging around out front, that's trespassing. Don't let them hang around, call the police.
Even if you have a hint of trouble, call the
Call the
police.
police.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
these
all we
things-
said radio
that's
now.
what we doing
If
now.
someone had something.
They just don't generate in the parking lot usually. It's usually something from inside the club. And remember, there's only 4 acceptable forms of identification, okay? So you have no defense if someone's using a Dominican license, okay? So,
For example, the incident that he mentioned, I think the fake ID or something of that sort, I personally the one that called the 911 dispatch, which I talked to Officer Newman a couple of days after. I told him, why did they have to transfer me, go to Boston and transfer here? He explained to me that I called from my cell phone, so, that's their normal procedure or protocol, I guess.
So we're now engaging into calling.
I'm really sorry about that, you know, I have to come in every month. I really, really sorry.
well, I hope you understand what my colleagues are talking about. I think they're right. the police are right. Once we see this pattern, it's happened many times before, usually it escalates to the next level. That's what we don't want to happen. But please, you're gonna have to be extra vigilant, extra aware of what's going on, extra aware of what's happening outside.
I think the best way to prevent that is calling
Right.
the department.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Without hesitation, so that's what we don't
Absolutely.
know.
Make sure you do it. If you see a problem with people waiting in the parking lot for people to come out, you're gonna have to call on that. You're just gonna have to be extra vigilant, make sure no one gets by that door if they're not 21 years old, with the proper identification, as Lieutenant Woolley said. Because you've attracted attention now. You're kind of raising your hand, you know what I mean?
It's the hot spot.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're a hot spot now, so you're gonna get a lot of attention, you're gonna get a lot of attention from the Lynn police. You're gonna have to be on your toes. We don't wanna see you back here next month. And so far, as the chairperson said, your cases have been borderline. Really hasn't been enough evidence to take disciplinary action against you. But you know what? That's gonna change if you guys don't become more vigilant. Pay attention to what's going on.
Yes.
No one sitting here will ever criticize you or call you in just because you called the police. But also, don't depend on that car 9 or 15 or whatever.
No, I know, I understand.
He or she can't always be there.
Be there, exactly.
You know? So,
And don't assume just because they're there that it's been reported, you still report it.
Correct. What I was hoping for is to see if they could actually be outside when we close, but they're used 6 rings, and if it doesn't change the shift.
Shift,
and things,
exactly.
exactly. So it's a little bit hard for them to be
Yeah,
there.
right.
that's my say.
Thank you for coming. Kyle, yeah. Okay. Okay, now we have a hearing on O'Brien's. Open after hours.
Rosemary, how are you? You had an accident.
No, this is my wife full of bed.
Oh, God, I couldn't
Oh,
live
I'm
with
sorry.
that man, are you
I'm
kidding?
sorry, please. My mistake.
They all look alike.
I'm not even one of them.
I'm sorry. How is she? Sorry. My mistake.
Okay. That was a nice way to open up.
Right. All right, but unfortunately, it for us, because you were open beyond hours and serving alcohol, which is totally unacceptable. Can't happen. You have anything to add, Mr.
I just said, at 1 o'clock, I was doing my checks, and I saw cars out in front of the establishment. I asked Lynn Control for a time check, it was exactly 1 o'clock, I waited a few minutes. I looked through the mirror, there was through the window, there was somebody playing a guitar in the back of the bar, 3 people standing around. I observed the bartender pouring a mixed drink at the back of the bar, several patrons with alcoholic beverages still on the table in front of them. I took several pictures and submitted to the commission for review.
What we have is we run a very successful open mic on Tuesday nights. We have since the day ago. That was playing the guitar is one of the guys that runs the open mic. Someone had given his guitar back to him with a broken guitar string. He was retuning the guitar. Shouldn't have. There's no excuse. I'm just telling you the event of the evening. Earlier that evening, my manager, who's been with me for 19 years, was in the bathroom taking graffiti, gay graffiti off the wall. It's become an act. If you look at the bathroom door, it's like a drawing board. Wasn't paying attention. Not blaming them, it's my fault for not being there. I mean, I normally am there. If I'm not, I'm calling them, bugging the hell out. And they'll tell you that, that's why she made it. There's no excuse. It was 101. Officer Holy walked through the door. There were people still in the establishment. She was pouring a drink because she was not paying attention to the time of the night. We had a problem with the credit card machine that she was trying to tell Officer Holy, but I understand, it's not, he's not there to listen to what happened. The magnetic strip on the Vita stopped working. She was running around crazy at the end of the night and ran out of time. Pouring the drink was for the guy that does the open mic because we don't allow him to drink while he's doing it. And she was making his drink to close his credit card out. Saw the time on the, we have two very large TVs with cable box. Realized the time it was, turned around, And Officer Holder is standing right there.
And I never served the drinks. I realized the time and did not serve them. Probably should have never made them, but because of the situation with the credit card, when, I don't know if anybody ever worked with a register or anything, but it's so easy to just swipe them, give it to them, people pay it, and at the end of the night, at last call, everybody pays by credit card. All of a sudden, I had to put my glasses on and punch all the numbers in, and it's on a touch screen, and it was case sensitive, so every time I'd go to hit send, it would say decline, and I'd look at it, and 1 0 became 2 0, so I'd have to redo it, and it probably made me a little disheveled because of the people waiting to pay, and I'm looking at the clock afterward, this is afterwards, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get these people out of here, and it was kind of a very uneventful, quiet Tuesday night, turned crazy in 10 minutes. And then he came in and took pictures. I'm on the witness protection plan. You can't show those to him.
What time do you normally do last call?
12, on a Tuesday night when it's not that busy, 12:30, I can get everybody their drink in like 10 minutes and pull it by quarter of and get them out of there. And that's basically what I did, I think, as I recollect it. But the credit card machine was the key thing, because at the end of the night, all those people ran tabs, and now they come up to pay their tab, and if they leave, I have to pay it.
The unfortunate part of this business, I make them responsible for any tab.
So part of me, I knew there were people that were still there, and I don't know, I know I didn't serve them any drinks, I don't know if they still maybe had one or not, but I know that I didn't serve them, but part of me didn't want them to leave, because I need to get their checks cleared out and stuff like that, and normally, Tuesday, I've been doing this for 36 years, I've never had an episode or anything like that.
Technology
I
being
know
what it
that-
is, you can't depend upon it, and so I really think you need to revisit how you close out at the end of the
We have
evening.
started last call now, quarter after.
Yes.
We are
That
empty,
was-
it looks like we weren't even open by 10 minutes out, we're closed. 12 o'clock, the door now gets locked, no one is allowed in, and it starts at last call quarter after, you're done serving by 12:30, they're out the door by quarter up, which has caused us some problems, because people have told me, this establishment is open till 1, we can stay till 1, no, you can't, it's at my discretion, sorry, it's time to leave. I never thought I'd be before the board on this count here, I really did, 19 years.
Were there any problems once you?
No, like I said, every night I do the roof, and I haven't seen a problem since then.
I've witnessed Officer Holy standing there on his car, and he came in one night to introduce himself, and I wasn't there. I mean, it's been a little hectic for me, staying home taking care of the wife. My son was already taking up a night.
It's his birthday today.
Oh.
We do appreciate your honesty,
Yeah.
being forthright with us. And I think we've covered everything that we want to hear too, about what's going to happen in the future as far as controlling the situation. Make a motion, we issue a letter of warning.
I can second that. I can't remember the last time you've been in here, so.
About 5 years.
Been that long?
Yeah, well, I come every now and then
Yeah.
to listen to everyone, but I was here before the board for New Year's Eve, and it was ironic, because a lot of people have called and said, you can't be going on the front page of the paper.
Only, yeah, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben.
Don't take this personally, if we don't see you again, then.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I'll make them take you to dinner, no?
I'll tell Mary you were asking for her.
She thought I was. Sorry.
Okay, now we have a sandbag, Chris Brown.
Hi. Can I sit down, is that all right, or would you prefer?
You can. Same thing, open after hours, serving. Lieutenant Hold,
Well, on the 21st, I observed, 21st of February, I observed several cars parked in the vicinity of the sandbar. I went to the front door, the door was locked. I could hear people inside. I stayed there for a few minutes. After a few minutes, I saw Mr. Brown pour a beer from the tap and deliver it to the rear of the bar. I knocked on the door, identified myself, he let me in, he was very cordial, very professional. He did have 2 patrons on scene. I don't know where the beer went, but the door was locked, and that's essentially the facts.
You wanna pick up?
Respond?
Sure.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the patrols in the area, and what had happened is, this is the layout of the building. I had 2 vehicles, 2 of the vehicles were mine. I have the titles right here. One of them was a disabled plow truck. I had it removed today, so it doesn't look, it's got a flat tire and it kind of looks bad for the area as well. So I can understand when Lieutenant Holden drove by and saw my vehicle. I think he mentioned there's 3 vehicles in the police report. My truck, so that's 2 for me, and then there's a 3rd vehicle, which was the bartender's ride home. I felt bad and I apologized because the thing that I was mad at myself about was I stopped by for closing. I had 2 people riding with me, and then there was a 3rd person that should not have been there. That was the ride of the bartender. My policy is to have everybody wait outside. And I got lax, got lenient, I let them wait inside for me and for her. So there's a total of 5 people, including myself, in the room. And I can understand Lieutenant Holy's concern. If he was parked on the side, there's a metal door. So it's very loud, people are talking. So that was the problem, the cars. Pouring the beer, if he feels I did that, then I'm sorry, I don't recall that, but if that's what he saw, then I respect that. Do not allow after hours at the place. I want everybody out of there by 1 o'clock. It's not on the payroll. I will not do that in the future in terms of other people waiting for the rides there or anything like that. And as I said, I removed one of the vehicles from out front. Excuse me, that's my response to that, and try to run a great establishment with no violations. Back in November, I received a letter from Scott Brown, no relation, just recognizing the tips training that I've done. I've trained over 100 people since I've been here in Lynn. I attend the neighborhood watches in this room here, I'm active with that.
I've seen you out there actually cleaning not just your property, other property too.
Yeah,
I know that you've done some work. I know that was a big complaint down there. I've seen you picking up, you personally doing it, so.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a couple of buildings in foreclosure and abandoned, and I try to keep them looking better for the area. So. Thank you for noticing.
Chris, I guess, just, again, I appreciate your honesty and being forthright about what happened. We just need to hear what changes you've made to be sure that this doesn't happen again in the future.
Again, I've removed the vehicle so it doesn't look like there's activity going on. Employees, rides, need to wait outside, no more waiting inside for their people. And no dispensing of anything, no one behind the bar past 1 o'clock. They should be on the other side of the bar doing the paperwork. I realize that 30 minutes past closing time is the only amount of time we have left to be in the room. Any restocking, anything like that is done the following day, so we're out of it.
What's your policy as far as closing, as far as what time your staff begins to close, et cetera?
Sure, 12:30 is last call. We want to get that done right around 12, right then. And it's called before 12:30. Entertainment, we realize, has to be off. TVs, everything done by 1:15. Music off, dance done, everything.
All alcohol off the bar by
All
1:15.
alcohol off the bar, out. So I would ask the board for a warning on this event. I'm asking for your consideration for that, and feel bad about what happened, allowing those people to be in the room for the ride situation. Don't wait outside in the future.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
And I, not to put Lieutenant Willie on the spot, but I would think that he didn't see any actual drinking taking place.
I couldn't.
Okay.
You're in the back room.
Okay.
But, that's that.
Okay, sorry.
Let's quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll make a motion that the board issue a letter of warning.
Second that.
Mr. Brown.
Thank you for your,
I'll agree.
sorry, thank you for your fairness.
And again, hope you don't see it again.
Me too.
Chris, the place looks good, the deck outside looks good.
Thank you. And thank you for all your approval, allowing me to do what I did up front.
Is that improved business?
It has, especially when it gets warm out. And we try to, the iron rails, I try to match up with North Shore community college, so we kind of fit in better. So, but I think it helps the neighborhood out.
Good.
Early spring fire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Another hearing, Northern Nights.
I reviewed the report with the manager, there were no questions with Lieutenant Holly. I'd say this, that there were two mistakes made, one readily apparent, one not so readily apparent. And the one not so readily apparent is the more serious one. The lights were on, the music was off, the door was locked, but I think the lieutenant came in because people were filing out. The first mistake, his last call was not at 12:30, it was at 12:45. The second mistake is the more serious one. It was a table of individuals, and the doorman's explanation to the manager was, I thought they were friends of yours. That was made clear that, were they friends, first of all, they weren't friends, and secondly, even if they were, that was no reason not to push them out the door. I think there was one individual at the bar, and there was this group at the table. There were 6 employees that night, and they traveled in 5 cars, so that meant that really what's inside, other than the employees, were the 3 vehicles, and that party at the table, and the group, and the individual at the bar. But in terms of going forward, obviously the biggest thing that they can do is that last call at 12:30. And the other is that they reprimanded and explained to the doorman that
Actually,
push everybody out.
he's still with us, but we actually changed the doorman to somebody that's a little more assertive, more, and one thing we did learn from it is, you can't always be nice to your customers. You try to be nice to them because they're your customers, but if they're not gonna respect the fact of our license, then we have to be more assertive.
And push them out.
It's time to get out, it's time to get out.
Exactly.
But part of it is, as I say, starting earlier, as Mr. Ryan said, he starts earlier. I mean, that's the safer course. As I explained to them, you gotta have last call at 12:30, and it isn't like getting 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. You know, the lights are off, the music's on. You gotta do all.
And actually, since that night, I'd say like 5 of there's nobody in there except employees since that night.
And all alcohol off the tables in the bar.
We may be picking up the last couple of
Yeah,
bottles at
yeah.
that time, but it's not a small place, so it has tables, so it takes some time. Sometimes, we try to make sure as we're going along, after we do last call, that anything that's empty, we try to do it all night long, but get the last one, you say, you get 5 minutes, drink that.
Yeah, and there are people who don't wanna give up that last sip.
You know, I'm gonna be back in 2 minutes to take it from you here.
No further questions?
Not since I check quite frequently.
The last thing I wanna do is before you guys, nothing personal.
Make that same motion that we should have a little warning.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Business been good?
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Business been good?
Yeah, picking up now that, with the outside, hopefully we can start getting things going.
It just snowed about.
Yeah, I heard that a little bit.
Really?
Oh, wait a minute,
Feels like
a flake.
My partner, a couple of weeks ago, she wanted to get all the furniture back outside, and I said, no, as soon as you do that, it'll be
I put away my snow
Exactly.
shovel, I want you to know. I don't
That's
have
why
a
we're
good
getting
thing
that
to do.
flake.
Okay, Marino has asked for
Thank you.
continuance.
Okay, all right. So.
Attorney Miles said he couldn't get a witness that he needs for that, so.
Yeah, this one. 408 Summer Street? Yeah.
That's not right back.
How long have you been open?
About 2 weeks. I begin. Oh, no, quite different.
What's your hours of operation?
Monday to Friday, 10 to 10:30 now. Saturday and Sunday, I have a breakfast 8 in the morning to 10:30. But at the license, I put it 10 to 11:30, but I don't close 11:30 right now because it's very, very slow.
And you're running a regular restaurant with table service?
Yeah, family restaurant.
Saturday, Sundays, you gonna have buffet?
Breakfast, yes,
Yeah.
buffet.
Do you have any entertainment?
No, not right now. I have put table only, one put table, because I find it when I go there.
Television?
Yes, I have television.
That qualifies under
Yes,
entertainment.
fine.
Do you have an entertainment license?
Yes, I have.
She's not calling alcohol.
I have no further questions.
How long have you been?
2 weeks.
You had an opportunity to speak to any of the neighbors down there? Just try to keep it nice and calm.
Yeah, this is.
Yes,
yeah.
I have nice and calm.
Nice little restaurant.
Today I had a food infection, so everything is okay.
Where's your other restaurant?
Uh,
Where's your other restaurant?
730 Western Ave.
Western.
I forgot it. I have 10 years ago.
Oh.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Teresa, and then Thursday, and then Thursday, and
Okay.
Thursday, and I'll have the license too.
All right, thank you so much.
Good luck.
Good night.
Nice. And is there anyone here from, just go back, just to double check. Anyone here from La Petite Cafe or La Ruta Restaurant? We have correspondence, communication? Okay, enjoy liquors we're gonna take care of. We have a letter from the lottery regarding new Keno places. Anybody have a problem with any of those places? Community market. Okay, all communications accepted for the file, except. What about 47 Central Ave? Do we want to do anything about that, because they weren't forthcoming, or should we just
They
wait
didn't
and
know
see where it
anything
goes?
about it, they called me today.
Oh, they didn't know anything at all about it?
Is that something we have to act on? Is that something they'll investigate once it gets to them?
Well, I mean, technically, the license is out of our hands now, it's at the ABCC, and that's where the correspondence went.
Okay.
We could take some type of action on that, but I'm sure that the ABCC
We'll take.
will take
Okay.
action on it.
All right.
So, I mean, we'd be kind of
All right,
duplicating there.
yep, okay.
They're able to remain open while this is going on?
They can.
Okay, then we'll accept the communications for file, all in favor?
Aye.
And then we have police reports, Community Brotherhood Club,
So for the file?
without a finding. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I just don't know whether to keep bringing them in every month. It just,
I think we addressed it.
Yeah. On the waste road?
Yes,
Yeah, I think
that's what he
that's
brought
the
up.
90-year-old.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll
do you
accept.
think we need to bring them in?
No.
Okay,
Okay, so just accept it.
that's fine. I just-
Subject to
And
recall
something, subject to recall?
on that one, in case it
So
keeps
moved.
recurring.
Yeah.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And something irresistible. He's
He's
just
just gonna
that
run, he's
control.
gonna run,
Yeah, he's just.
make as much money until you revoke it.
Yeah, so, why don't we bring him in? Because we said the next incident, I mean, that's just late.
Oh, we have one more.
Yeah, the new one's
No one.
done.
Oh, yes.
I think that should be accepted for files, I think that was just,
Give you a second.
just let me look at it real
Yeah, I
quick
think
again.
so. Oh, yeah, there was an incident in the parking lot that they weren't even aware of. His
Oh,
friend wasn't,
okay.
yeah,
Sports-
sports center.
So it was broken leg out.
Broken leg, yeah. Really unrelated to the
Yeah.
bar.
Okay.
Not
Not
unrelated, but.
really
Yeah.
wasn't, yeah. So except for,
Was that other files?
finding.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Right?
Aye.
The list of
Gal went to the,
liquor liability.
the president went to the
Yeah.
Spanish newspaper.
Yeah.
Motion to bring the 9 people that are listed for not providing updated liquor liability to the meeting next month.
For hearing or conference?
Here,
Yeah,
Here.
yeah, it's March, right? It's
Yeah.
April,
That late?
same motion for, do we, wait. Do we end up deciding on the Blue Note? Still on there?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
We gave them time.
That was,
So maybe we should bring him in, find out what's happening.
what Dixon's, is that still?
Yep, that's still out there.
Let's
Okay,
bring him
that
in,
one?
yeah, bring him in.
Because the other one's coming in as well.
Yeah, he's coming in.
Motion to bring those 3 individuals in.
And I say bring in,
The lobby person?
yeah, the lodging houses too.
Yeah, but technically they're operating without a
Oh,
license
yeah,
now.
yeah, something happened. Nigga come home with you? Oh, you? You didn't even know.
Okay.
Need a motion to adjourn?
I think so.
Always in
So
order.
moved.
Always in order.